Cancer.org today.
Stay prepared for the days and nights ahead with the best weather team. Download the Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Get alerts and updates straight from the WDAY Storm Tracker team with accurate weather reports specific to your area. Just search WDAY in the Apple or Google Play Store. Download the Storm Tracker app and be ready to plan your day. The Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Download it today. Catch Bison Volleyball on WDAY Extra. Watch NDSU take on the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles Thursday at 7 p.m. Bison Volleyball on WDAY Extra. You're watching WDAY Extra.
Basketball season is here. We're live in Sioux Falls for Summit League Basketball Media Day. A full show begins right now.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota. Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Good morning, everybody, from Sioux Falls in the Premier Center, where in a few short months we'll crown a Summit League champion. Basketball season takes center stage on this Tuesday morning. For the third year, we are back for Summit League Basketball Media Day for a full day as we get ready for another season. And I believe, for at least I know for the second year in a row, we have the heaviest of heavy hitters to start our program. One, North Dakota State men's basketball head coach David Richmond joining us. Thank you for batting leadoff today. We appreciate that.
You guys screwed it up again. You should have me last because it's all downhill.
Come on, man. This viewership ratings as high as they can get right now, right?
Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. My focus right now is on nothing more than my posture.
It's good.
Well, it's really good because I'm focused on it. I did a podcast the other day, and my posture
Whoa, you did a podcast?
Yeah,
Holy cow.
I'm big time.
Yeah, you are big time. And?
Not only am I on the Dom Izzo show, I do podcasts. It was great.
It's great to see you. Well,
to be seen.
So we did this a couple years ago, the first one.
Yeah.
It's only gotten bigger and better. Tell me about this as the, you've been practicing for a couple weeks, but the unofficial real tip-off to basketball season.
Yeah, we, Damari and Noah and I had breakfast this morning with AK and Avery and Jory, and we were talking about it. This is great. It gets that buzz and excitement, especially for the student athletes. It's a terrific way to start talking about some basketball. And I'm a huge football guy, you know that, and we're in the heart of football season, which is great. But basketball is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And we need to start telling the stories and the narratives to be heard. And this is a great way to do it. Really appreciative of Josh and Mindy Kay and the Summit League staff of putting on events like this and creating some atmosphere and exposure to the league.
Yeah, you're playing a game a week from Thursday.
Yeah.
So, you talk about basketball season, it's here. It's not down the road. So we visited a couple weeks ago on the opening day of practice. You're 2 weeks in. Give me your thoughts on how practice has gone so far.
Even when you say that, I get goosebumps. Like, I love this group.
Yeah.
I do. Maybe it's a little bit more of a Dave Richmond group from on the court. Now, we had a fun group last year, and we won 21 games, which is terrific, and some major wins and some things like that. But, this is a deep, physical, athletic group that's really fun to be around. They've come in and embraced our culture. When I say they, the 9 new guys, our 5 guys that were with our program last year have done a terrific job of setting the tone, the standards of what it's all about. And it's really been a real joy and excitement to go to practice every day. I question maybe after our first 3 days, Dom, just how tough we were, if we were mean enough. And we reset after that third day and had some real specific conversations, guys have responded. The end of the first week, all last week, we had another one on Sunday. The competitive spirit is really there. I think we have a chance to be better defensively, rebounding the basketball. Now it's just about the little things, executing, taking better care of the ball, finding shots. What's our gaps look like? Just, little things that we need to continue to grow with.
I know when you were in studio with me a couple weeks ago, we talked about defensively, and I know you've made your bread and butter on that. How much did that give you the heebie-jeebies last year? Like, okay, we're shooting the heck out of the ball, but we're just not defending at a rate where I want to be.
Yeah, you go back and you do the numbers, and we defended okay first shot, but we didn't rebound. And again, when we're going to put it out there that we're a program based on tough together, that to me is defined by rebounding, and that was the disappointing part. We didn't finish possessions, and so we have a group that has the makeup to do those things. I think the other thing you're going to see is we challenge our guys to have some fun playing defense, and you're starting to see that where we're flying around. We will create more turnovers. We will create more offense from our defense this year, and we have to, and I think that'll be a part of our success.
So I know we're on to next year, but being back on this floor, I think of the game in the Summer League tournament last year. Andy Stefanowicz, it wasn't his coming out party because he had moments last year, but what did you see in that game, a postseason game, to say, okay, we can take this into this season?
So we have another kid in our program right now, Riley Massey. Riley's a freshman. I could not be more proud and impressed with how Riley's come in, but Riley's a freshman, right? And so when we've had meetings, I've always had Andy in with Riley to say, here's what Andy did last year. And some games he would play, some he wouldn't play at all, some he would play a little bit longer and all that. But what Andy did is he keeps showing up every day in practice, and he challenged himself. And towards the end of the season when he was called on, like he wasn't just called on, he executed. And it was really fun to see on this stage.
And the way he played, just him, Tracy Anderson, two guys you had to have step up in a game where basically you had 7 guys and you and the coaching staff on the bench. Was that something positive? Say, okay, we can build around this going forward.
Well, I sure hope so. And again, we make so much talk about the 9 new guys, and they're great. But to have Trayson back, to have Andy back, to have Damari back. Damari has had success on this court
right here,
and that's a big thing when you talk about experience. Noah Federson is. And I'll say this, Noah Federson has finally really started to turn the corner, and Noah has always been a nice guy, a good guy, and that's great for 75% of the time. When we get on the court, you can't be like that. And he's starting to own that mentality every day in practice, and so those guys are great to build on, and they have experience here, and that's going to be big as we go down the stretch here this year.
The other guy, Damari, I want to talk about. I know you were in studio about this. You were telling me last year on the show that he was killing you guys in practice. To have that, I don't know if it's a luxury, but a guy who's played for 2 years, he's playing a ton of minutes. Is that just a seamless transition for him back into the lineup?
No, I mean, I think it's naive of me to think it's going to be seamless. Right now, he's been pretty damn good. But when we go against Oregon State or Minnesota here next week, there's going to be some rust. I'm well aware of that. If there's not, perfect, great, let's hit it running. I think the nice thing that's a really nice luxury is, a football coach is going to talk about their quarterback. Baseball coach is going to talk about their starting pitching and their shorts. You know where I'm going with this is that I think we have 2 really good point guards in both Damari and Andy. The other thing that we've messed around with is playing those guys a little bit together. And because of how physical and how athletic and how Damari can defend, what he might lack in size, his physicality, his athleticism, his competitive spirit, you can do some things with those guys too. So it's been a good luxury for us, and hopefully that continues.
The headline names, Dave, when you're adding your roster in the spring, Max Marley comes up, obviously the last name, and we've talked about that, but Max is a player that's played a couple stops. You saw him in the JUCO ranks last year. How has his transition gone to say, we can rely on this guy coming year?
I'm going to lump a bunch of these guys together here real quick. So you got Max Marley, you got Travion Carson, you got Emil from Sac State, you got Mark Kai, who's bounced around a little bit. Very great kids, very individually talented young men that have embraced our culture to say, I need to do these little things to become a better basketball player. And there's a big difference in being a very individually talented basketball player and being a team player that's a part of a winning program. And I say this, every team, including bad teams, has a leading scorer. And what do you want to be? What do you want to be?
Exactly.
So Max and all of those guys have done a terrific job of saying, like, I need to have some hunger and humility here that I need to take some ownership of why my program wasn't great last year, or why this is my second or third school a little bit. And I have no problem saying those things, right? There's a reality, and that's what I'm most proud of our culture with Jason Miller's sets, with some of those things, is we do the little things that it takes to win.
Travion and Max came from winning programs last year. Can that translate to the Division I level?
Well, I sure hope so. Travion Carson's a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, he won state championships in high school. He's been to the national tournament back-to-back year, and you could see that. Travion Carson, like, I'm not going to hide behind it. The kid can play. Now, again, do we know there's going to be a JUCO to Division I adjustment? Absolutely, but that kid can go, and I think that's a big part of it. That's a thing that we're working with E and Mark High on. Last year their teams didn't have great success, and what do they want from their last year of college basketball? Right? Is this just about them? That's pretty short-sighted. If they're going to embrace us, and it's amazing what can be accomplished when no one cares who gets the credit, bright things are coming for them as well.
I want to ask you a big picture about where college basketball is going, and don't have your head explode on that. But the players in this league that were added are coming from those ranks, in the Division II, from the junior college ranks, rather than a lot of drop-downs from the Power Four. Is that the best way in your mind to build a roster?
Well, I've thought a lot about this. I've talked to a lot of coaches, and I won't name names or programs, but they've got three transfers, right, at one position. You got a Big 12, you got an ACC, and you got this NAIA kid.
Yeah.
Who are they most excited about?
The NAIA
kid.
Yeah.
Right? And so what I think what I'm getting to is, if you can play, you can play.
Yeah.
If you're a winner, you're a winner. And if you're willing to do the little, like, there's no freaking secrets in life. There's not. and I think that's part of the problem with society is our generation, we coddle these kids and we do all these things and we tell them, like, but when you coach them, or more importantly, you have kids that want to be coached, there's something really special to that.
How do you feel with the title of the Dean of the Summit League coaches? How does that suit you?
Oh, I'm old, right? I got my readers.
You got your readers with you.
Readers. I get up now early, and my workout consists of a half hour of core workout now, just so I can
just
move.
Getting out of bed is your is a workout, right?
It is what it is. Yesterday we combined the coaches meetings with the women, so AJ was in there too.
Okay,
he trumps me by double. By double. But I tell you what, I'm at a special place, and this is a great league, doing some things like this that are moving forward. So I'm excited.
New coach obviously in Brookings, new coach in Denver, new coach in Tulsa. Describe that of getting to know the new guys and tell them when you meet in the summer about some obviously know the league, but others are, hey, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, it's different. Obviously I know Tim from being over at Moorhead. I've known Brian for being there, and he's had success in the junior college ranks. I don't know Corey very well at ORU, and met him yesterday for the first time, but that's where I'll leave it, right? It's a little bit like Sam Getzinger's question to me about Moorhead. Like I really give a you-know-what about one program.
Oh, man. When you mentioned with the Gopher game coming up next week, obviously you're going out to win the game every time. What do you want to see out of your basketball team next Thursday?
I want to see how we handle the environment. I want to see us play basketball the way we play basketball in practice, right? And that's really, keeping it that simple. Yep. If we're going to play a league game today, which we're not, the rotation would be a little shorter. It's an opportunity to get a bunch of guys out there, and I think you have a certain expectation of how a guy is going to carry over from practice to games, and that might be one way or another. Someone might take a jump up under the lights, someone might take a step back, and that's the beauty of a little bit of being in a one-bid league, where we do we're out there to win every damn game, make no mistake about it, but we do have a little bit of time in particular. That's why I like these exhibition games under the lights against a Big Ten school, where you see what a couple of our guys are all about.
I was going to say, for the other exhibition game, which we're going to have on Extra against the Dragons, after that, is that when roster decisions are made in terms of, hey, we're thinking these are the amount of guys we're going to play this season?
Yes, but I think I'm more open to just, you play guys. I think, again, transparent Dave here is Dom Clay. Dom Clay is a very talented freshman, and one day he looks like one of the better players in the gym, and one day he looks like Dom Izzo. Dom Izzo might get him. There's those things that you want to play out throughout the course of the season, and see what guys look like under the lights, and that's a little bit the beauty of this group too, Dom. Like, I'll be honest with you, today there's 12 kids that are getting highly, highly evaluated out of our 14 roster spots to see who can play, and that's great, because that internal competition every day as long as it's healthy. We talk about healthy, desperate competition every day. That's just making everybody better.
What's the deepest rotation you could remember having on a team? I was trying to think of that the other day.
I was thinking about, like, just as quick as you said it, would be 2019. And we brought Jordan. Yeah, we brought Jordan Horn back into the rotation late.
Yep.
And I believe we were playing 9-10 guys, in the Summit League tournament. And
that worked out.
It did, and I think that's the other fun part about this day and age of college basketball is you're flying by the seat of your pants a little bit and embracing some things.
All right, last thing before we get you out of here. It looks like we're going to go to 76 teams in 27 for the NCAA tournament. What do you make of that? Because I don't believe a second team is coming out of the Summit League, though, unfortunately.
Just don't mess with the tournament.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the tournament. There's a lot of volatility going on in our game. There's a lot of different things happening. Eligibility years and portal and NIL and all these things. It is so much fun right now, Dom, to be in season and to fall into that rhythm and routine and to know what you're chasing at the end of it.
Right.
Now, as soon as it's over, right, all whatever breaks loose. But I love the tournament, and I do think there is something about being exclusive as possible, and you start to expand that. That being said, if you can create a little bit more room for people to experience that euphoria, that joy, I'm all for it.
I hope you gave us your best stuff. Everybody, because you got a bunch of other interviews here that we got the best out of you today, right?
I only have my best all the time. Hey, I do want to say this, and I don't care who's listening, as you know. The way you guys, Bison 1660, I know it's right here, but the way Fargo comes down here and represents, Dom, it is big time, and it's very, very appreciative by myself and Jory and in our programs.
Great to see you, my man. Thanks for leading us
guys.
off. All right,
Appreciate you.
We'll talk to you soon. Okay, David Richmond joining us here to lead off things on Hot Mic here at Summit League Media Day. When we come back, we'll talk to two of Dave's players. Noah Federson, Damari Wheeler-Thomas will stop by. We come back live to Sioux Falls after this.
Touchdown, baby! Testosterone from Limitless Male has changed my life. More energy, more strength, and more confidence. Trust me, you'll want to feel this good. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Get big fall savings at Menards, all prices after 11% rebate. Tackle yard cleanup with a steel leaf rake, just $4.99. A 5-pack of paper lawn and leaf bags is only $1.99. Brighten things up with a 3-panel folding LED light, just $1.99. Men's and ladies' fleece jackets are only $14.99. Hurry, these great deals won't last long. Sign up for Menards emails to get the weekly flyer plus exclusive daily flash sales right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards.
Want to discover Cindy Crawford's secret to ageless skin?
It's Meaningful Beauty, created by world-renowned cosmetic specialist Dr. Jean-Louis Sabat. He's been hailed as an anti-aging guru and a skin magician who's been honored with Elle Magazine's Genius Award.
His incredible treatments harness the power of a genetically unique melon found only in the south of France. It contains an astonishing youth-preserving enzyme known as the youth molecule.
These super treatments have kept Cindy's skin looking remarkably youthful. Just wait until you see what they can do for you.
Instant hydration, instant plumping. My skin looks amazing.
And now for 2025 and beyond, enhance your skincare with Cindy's new Targeted Treatment Duo. An incredible value at $128. Today, it's free. That's right, free. You're invited to join the party and find out what these new formulas can do for you.
I can sum it up in one word: hydration.
Glowy, smooth, magical.
I've often heard this: are you drinking from the fountain of youth? And I say no, but I'm putting it on.
What I'm most proud of is over 5 million women have trusted Meaningful Beauty, and they're getting great results, and I get that feedback from them in airports, supermarkets, walking down the street, and I love it.
Now it's your turn to try our best system ever. With 5 concentrated super treatments, plus the Age Recovery Night Cream infused with melon extract and retinol.
And the new and improved Advanced Youth Activating Melon Serum with Hydrosome H2O delivers our melon leaf stem cell technology even deeper into the skin where wrinkles begin.
Dr. Sabah's clients often pay thousands of dollars for a series of treatments. That's why when purchased separately, Meaningful Beauty's regular price of $179 is already an incredible bargain.
But because Cindy decided to offer Meaningful Beauty directly to you, you won't pay $179, $139, or even $99. Order now and you'll pay just $69.95 for all 5 concentrated super treatments. Be among the first 500 to order and receive the wrinkle smoothing capsules to target crow's feet, forehead lines, and lines around your mouth. Plus, you'll also get the new skin renewing facial tool with heat, massage, and red light to boost the absorption of the wrinkle smoothing capsules and reduce the appearance of puffiness.
This plus this equals incredible results.
Now, smart shoppers who use promo code SAVE20 will receive an additional $20 savings instantly. That means you'll pay just $49.95, a full 75% off the regular price. We'll even add free shipping. And your order always comes with our 60-day money-back guarantee.
This special offer is not available in any store, so don't wait. Scan the code, call the number below, or go to meaningfulbeauty.com right now.
Do you have trouble sleeping, no energy, muscle loss, brain fog, belly fat, low libido? If you have these symptoms, you likely have low testosterone, and Limitless Male can fix that.
Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic live on location in Sioux Falls on Summer League Basketball Media Days. We get ready for a new season. North Dakota State men will play a exhibition game a week from Thursday at the University of Minnesota. We got 2 of the guys on the team joining us, junior Damari Wheeler-Thomas and junior Noah Feddersen joining us this morning. Great to see you both. You're the old hat. You did this before. What'd you tell Damari about how to get ready for today?
Yeah, just stay cool. You know, we've done this a lot of other times, you know, after games or before games. So,
tell me about this whole experience. You know, we haven't had a chance to talk about coming back. So let's just start with last year, because we talked right before the season about the whole process of either deciding to redshirt, rehab, and sit out the year.
Yeah. I feel like redshirting would have been like the best thing for, you know, us as a team and me personally, since I wasn't there ready to play for the team this year. But
how difficult was that? Because I know you battled this injury since basically you got to Fargo.
Yeah, it was hard at first, but, you know, the coaches kept me right in the mind, you know, and the trainers helped me get right back to it. So, yeah.
So I know Dave was telling me, Noah, by, I don't know, February, that Damari was killing you guys in practice. Tell me about that at the end of last season.
No, he definitely was. You know, I'm definitely excited this year to be playing with him and not against him the whole year. So, no, yeah, I'm really excited to be back playing with him.
Did transferring, did that ever enter your mind last year? Like, I don't know, this is a long time to wait out. Tell me, what much of a mental hurdle was last year?
It was more just me, you know, staying where my feet are and knowing I wanted to come back and play for us here with the Bison and, you know, getting us to a championship win.
We were just visiting off air. The last time you played a game was on this court, the Summer League tournament a couple years ago. Does it feel a little surreal to be back here and going, okay, my return to the court is coming pretty darn soon?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to feel weird when I first get out there, but, you know, right back to it, though. Right back to it.
For people that don't know, tell us about the injury. What happened, and this is even before you got to Fargo or when you got to Fargo?
Yeah, right when I got to Fargo, I had a little fracture in my leg once I was here playing, and I had to get surgery, and I got a rod inserted into my leg. Still there now. I've been battling it for a while, you know, off and on, but I'm good now.
So just basically you needed rest off of it. Is that the best way to explain it?
Yeah, pretty much just rehabbing and resting, and then I was able to just gradually increase stuff and increase it more and more.
So when did you feel like yourself last year? Was it about then in February?
Yeah, it probably was about February. Yeah, it probably was.
So the anticipation's got to be through the roof then for you to be back out here and getting a chance to play again. Because, I mean, people forget because it's just the way it works. You played, you were a starter for 2 years and didn't play last year.
Yeah, I'd say it was definitely something, but I'm definitely excited to be back with my boys, and we're ready to get out there.
What kind of difference maker can he be? People have such a short-term memory in sports, Noah, that they forget Damari was such a great player for you guys for 2 years.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's even crazy. We've been together for now this is our 4th year, and we've only played 1 year together, you know, because my redshirt year and then his redshirt year last year. But he's definitely a difference maker, and I think you really see it on both ends of the floor. You know, he can clamp up the other team's best guard, and then also on the offensive side, he's so quick and he has such good vision.
Dave was telling me the transition for you, it's basically like from Bruce Banner to the Hulk. We know you're a nice guy, but we need you to be the Hulk on the floor. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of talks about my mentality, onto the floor, because, like you said, I am a nice guy off the floor. But
which is fine.
Yeah, being able to flip that switch once we get on the court has been a big emphasis this offseason.
Where have you seen that transition for Noah?
I've seen it really all summer. Once him and Dave had them conversations, you can just see Noah and practice looking like a better player every single day, and I love that for him.
For you last year, it seemed like you had fits and starts where there'd be games like you'd be out there dominating, other games where teams would take you out. How frustrating was that to not be as consistent as you wanted to be?
Yeah, it was definitely just a matter of, trying to find my role on both sides, but also mainly in the offense, playing in a spot where I wasn't super comfortable playing, but trying to find a way to be comfortable playing in that spot. And so, honestly, this year I'm feeling really comfortable going into the season, being back at that 5 spot, playing up top.
Tell me how different this is, boys, from last year where it was the three-point pies and you guys are shooting nonstop. This is going to be a different team. Describe that transition of how you're going to play this year.
I feel like we still got, a team to where we can really get up a lot of threes and make a lot of threes, but we also have those that can get to the rim and create for others more than we had for last season's team,
Does that take you out of it a little bit because of how offensively you guys played last season, in your opinion?
I wouldn't say so. I would say, like you said, we still have that capability to do that, but also, the length and size and athleticism we have this year, it's really going to help us get inside more, and that's just going to open things up for us overall.
I got to ask, for you guys being 2 of the returners, Andy being back, Carson being back, Trayson being back, how much are you guys unofficially the leaders because you've been in the program for a bit? Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Me and him were the only ones that have been here for longer than a year. Them 3, just only a year. So, those first couple weeks that all these guys got up here in the summer, showing them around, showing them how we do things, it was definitely a big moment.
Would you remember an eye-opening moment when you were here as a freshman to show, hey, this is what Bison basketball is about?
Yeah. I'd say it's really just talking them through a bunch of things and stuff like that. And with Carson and them coming back, that group, they already kind of understood how things were going. So it really was with the new guys, getting them under our wing and bringing them on.
All right, for basketball fans going to see you guys play for the first time next week, give us a couple of the new guys. Who stood out okay, these are players you're going to need to know come November and December?
I honestly say all the new guys that we brought in. Yeah, the coaching staff did really, really good with bringing in the new guys, and they're not just good basketball players, they're good people as well. But I say all of them, honestly.
For people that don't know how the meet and greet works on when the guys are transferring, how much are you guys involved? Are the coaching staff bring the returners in and say, hey, we're thinking about adding this guy? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, a little bit. They might bring him up, show us some film maybe, but then we'll meet them on a visit, get to be around them for a day or two, and then after that you're kind of just waiting for their decision to see if they're going to commit or not.
Max Marley gets a lot of attention. Obviously his last name, his dad was an NBA All-Star. What kind of player is he, and how can he help you guys this coming year?
Yeah, he's definitely a very dynamic player. You can see it with his athleticism. I think he probably got some from his dad. But he's also very crafty, around the rim, and also a really good shooter.
Damari, tell us about, Dave was telling me about Travion Carson. What stood out about him coming from the junior college ranks that he can come in and help you guys?
I really feel like TC caught me off guard. I didn't know what to expect from another JUCO guy, but he really stood out for us this summer and spring, And I think he can do everything, from scoring. He's also one of those guys that can create for others, and he's a really good defender as well.
Dave was just telling us about a couple of freshmen, and Dom Clay and Riley Massey, which, again, you guys were in this boat just a couple years ago. What is that transition like, and can they come on and be impact guys for you as freshmen?
Yeah, I think they definitely can. I've really been surprised and, pleasantly surprised with just their mentality coming into things. They're freshmen, but they're not afraid of anything. They got that dog mentality that Coach loves, so I think they can definitely make an impact.
So 2 years ago, your freshman year, you guys played in the Summit League championship game. The last 2 years, it's been one and done down here. I guess I know the answer to this, but how much you want to say, okay, this is a place where we've had past success, we can make a run in March?
Well, obviously, very bad. We want to be able to do that. And as the staff and us players know we've been one and done the last 2 years, and we don't want nothing like that happening again. So it all started this summer. up to this fall, and we're going to make sure we do it right.
I remember showing up here last year for the game with USD and seeing, obviously, I knew you weren't playing. I didn't know Jakari wasn't playing. I didn't know Jackson wasn't playing. I didn't know you were hurt as well. How surreal was that for that game last year down here?
Yeah, I think that was just crazy timing. You know, obviously everybody probably thought everybody was healthy and fine and we were going to come out and, but yeah, it was just a crazy time with everything, and it just went how it went.
So describe, when did you get hurt? Was it prior to obviously it was prior to the South Dakota game?
So it was actually during the South Dakota game.
The regular season game?
Yeah,
when Jakari got hurt too?
Yep.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So what were you playing with that night?
So I had...
was it a fracture as well?
It was a fracture. I dove over our bench, tried to save a ball, and ended up landing on the ground with my wrist and fractured it.
When you guys, and you played as well as you did, how... I wouldn't say devastating. Well, I guess what's the right way to describe a loss like that last year in the tournament?
Yeah, it definitely was devastating, like having those injuries going in. But, I was really proud, even though we lost, with the way that we fought. And, the guys that stepped up who hadn't played a lot during the season but were able to step up and impact the game.
I got to ask you, Damari, about having Andy back and maybe you guys playing together at the same time. Because it seems you both are point guards. How does that work?
I'd say it'll work fine. We both can play the 1 and the 2. Andy can really shoot it. That's something that a lot of people may not know. He can really shoot the ball well from 3. So I think with our staff, we probably want to do both in that once and then both playing together at the same time as well.
How do you feel about that? Okay, if I'm going to be on the floor, I'm maybe not ball handling all the time. How different is that for you?
It's pretty much like the same thing. I'd be playing 1 and the 2, you know what I mean? And this last spring when I was hurt and not playing with the team, that's really what I was doing, 1 and the 2, getting used to stuff like that.
When you see Andy come out and play like he did here, how much confidence is that for you guys? Say, okay, he's done it on the biggest stage we have.
Yeah, definitely a ton. And I think, you could see it throughout the whole season, just the way that he grew. And then this last game, he really showed it all to everyone.
Yeah.
Next week, it's Minnesota. This is not, easing into the schedule. Describe that. I've got a chance to play a Big Ten team at an exhibition next week.
I think it's a good way to start the season off for us. After that, we got MSU, another exhibition. But, we just take it just like a regular game, come into it ready to play and get a win.
I got to ask, you guys look at the schedule when it comes out? You pay attention to that at all? Like, you know what? Tell me when to show up, and that's who I'm ready to play.
I think we definitely do look at it a little bit. Look at the teams we're playing, the places we're going, things to get excited for in the future. But also, you want to stay present and be ready for those games.
Oregon State off the top. What do you make of that, of playing a Pac-12 school to start the year?
Yeah, that'll be fun. Definitely another great opportunity to play a really good team. And like we saw last year, we're able to compete with those teams.
When you look at, especially those opportunities of playing the high majors, how much, obviously the Summit League is where your bread is buttered, but getting a chance, like you guys did against Butler last year, to be on the big stage and play those games, how exciting is that?
I'd say it's definitely exciting because you can show that the Summit League teams can play with teams like that, and that's really much all it is.
Last thing before I let you guys go, how in the recruiting world is so small, how much do you know the other guys in the league? Like, either from high school, AAU days. Is there a lot of crossover with guys here?
I think sometimes there is, but honestly this year, seeing a lot of the guys, I didn't know a lot of the faces.
Really?
So it's with all the transfers and stuff, it can be crazy.
How about for you? Same thing?
I know a lot.
It's great to see you boys. Thanks so much for coming by. Good luck this year. We can't wait to see it. We're going to have the game with the Dragons coming up on the 23rd. Appreciate the time today, all right, boys? Damari Wheeler-Thomas, Noah Federson joining us on the Bison men's basketball team. Again, NDSU has its exhibition opener next Thursday with the Gophers. We'll break. We come back. Jory Collins, NDSU women's basketball head coach. Coming up, we come back on Hot Mic right after this.
Get inside the huddle. Watch the Bison Football Show with Coach Tim Polasek, presented by Gate City Bank for a better way of life. Player interviews, features, highlights, and more. The Bison Football Show with Coach Tim Polasek, Sunday nights at 10:35 on WDAY. Get ready for Bison Game Day. Join the Bison Game Day crew as they get you ready for kickoff. Saturdays at 10 a.m. Analysis, insight, and tailgating fun. Bison Game Day, presented by Farmers Union Insurance. 10 a.m. Saturdays on WDAY TV.
1, 2, 3.
Dangers rarely lie out in the open. So no matter where you live, it's important to know harmful pests can hide in and around your home.
Ready or not, here I come.
Termites can destroy wood, making your home unstable. And stinging insects can be easily agitated, inflicting painful stings.
I know you're out here.
Rodents and cockroaches are drawn to food waste and garbage. while ticks lurk in tall grasses looking for hosts, and mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water.
I can hear you.
Rodents, ticks, and mosquitoes can all spread dangerous diseases, and cockroaches can leave behind allergens that trigger asthma attacks.
I gotcha. Oh, man.
Seek the facts you need to keep your family healthy at pestworld.org.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm Isai Morales. As an actor, I've played many roles, but right now I'm speaking to you as a proud Hispanic American. You know, we need to protect ourselves from lung cancer. It's a leading cause of cancer death among Hispanic men and women. Growing up, I would hide my mother's cigarettes. Even as a child, I knew that smoking can cause cancer. So can just being around someone who smokes. But that isn't the only thing that causes this disease. Environmental factors like air pollution, chemicals, and even radon can also cause lung cancer. That's why we need to be better advocates for ourselves and our loved ones. If you're at risk, no matter your citizenship status, get screened for lung cancer. To learn more, speak with a healthcare professional or visit this website. Don't let the fear of lung cancer get in your way. Early detection is key. It could save your life.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic rolls on live on location here at the Premier Center in Sioux Falls on Summit League Basketball Media Day. Our guy, Jory Collins, joins us, North Dakota State women's basketball head coach. The Bison women picked second in the Summit League preseason poll, which I know how much you love polls. First off, I'll rip the Band-Aid off right now. How are you doing after last night? Tough night for your Chiefs
shot
last
ourselves
night.
in the foot, man. Penalties. Could have won that game in 50 different ways, and then they find a way to lose it. I couldn't have been more disappointed.
It's unlike
it's going to be one of those
Chiefs football,
years.
right?
It's going to be one of those years. Just going to have to tough it out.
You know, I remember a couple years ago, everybody counted you out, and you end up winning the whole thing. So, you know, that worked out okay.
I still believe.
I forgot also, last time you were on, congratulations to you and your fam. Your son, Jet, going to go play baseball at Hutchinson Community College, which is big time. Congrats on that.
Yeah. No, thank you. It's he's been working hard
Yeah,
at
man.
it and get himself
Were you
an
a baseball
opportunity.
guy?
I was not a baseball guy, which I think that's why he chose baseball. It's because he's like, you can't tell me anything about this. So, you know, I just cheer him on. And he's probably really smart about that.
Well,
not
part of
being a
that
basketball guy.
Horace team that is just loaded out there with Case and Borkhardt, your son, I know how much fun you have during the spring just to go out and watch him play.
Yeah, they have a pretty special group in their class, and you know, Kaysen, obviously you're younger, but you know, that kind of core group they have is some good baseball players in there.
Now you've been on the other side, obviously on the other side of the couch recruiting. How is it like to be dad on the baseball side of that?
You know, it was really interesting, and it did feel weird, you know, because usually I'm the one walking kids around and pitching and selling and all those kind of things, and to get to hear it about your own kid was interesting. But it was great. It was a good process, and he made a great choice, and you know, they got great coaches and a great program there, so You're going to learn a lot, get tested, and that's what you want.
Produced quite a few guys that have gone on to play high major Division I baseball.
Yeah, they got a good program going. It's a great league.
Yeah.
Really talented.
Yep.
So he'll have his hands full.
All right, so I was up at practice on the first day a couple of weeks ago. You're 2 weeks in. Describe how the first couple of weeks have gone so far.
It's been a fun group, Dom. I was having breakfast with Avery and AK this morning, and they're just kind of like, "Are we farther along, than we usually are at this time?" And I was like, "Yeah, quite a bit." And that's just because we have some experience in returning players. That junior class has been with us now, and sets the tone every day, and they know what the expectations are, and how to manage that, and how to live up to that on a daily basis, and that makes other people have to do that as well. And it's just a really good core group. And I'll even point out, Abby Graham, whose role has been up and down, is playing her best basketball of her career right now in practice. Just looks like a different person, and I think that's just maturity and being comfortable in what we're doing. And you love to see the upperclassmen lead like that. And
want your seniors to have their best year, right? Their last
100%. And it's just a great group. I don't have to really worry about what's the effort level going to be like today. Are we ready to practice? It's more, hey, let's get as good as we can today.
I got to be mixed emotions for you this time, sitting at this court this time, in last March. I know how you felt. And then you had the run you did at the WNIT. Is it mixed emotions on how the end of last season went?
Well, for sure. I mean, your goal is to be Summit League champs, and we just, laid an egg in the tournament there, and couldn't have been probably as disappointed as I've ever been in my coaching career. But I couldn't have been more proud of our team to bounce back. I didn't know if they even want to play, 2 weeks later in the WNIT or whatever it was.
Yep.
A weekend. That's a long time in
Yeah.
between that loss and getting to play again. And what's your emotions like? Can you get yourself fired back up to compete? And we did. And we had a lot of people, when I asked them, yeah, I want to play. I want to get back out there. I don't want to finish like that. And I thought we played some of our best basketball for sure. Got to play in the Shack in front of great crowds. And I thought we snatched back momentum for our program, where maybe that was taken away from us a little bit with a bad loss here, but then, kind of gained some more traction just playing well. Late into March.
How big a deal is it to have number 22 back? We're watching some video here of Avery Coonan out there to have a first-team Summit League player back for her third season.
Yeah, I mean, Avery's – I think I told Dylan this yesterday after practice. We practiced early yesterday morning, and she's dominating right now in our practices. There's really no other way to say it. I mean, when she wants the ball now, she's asking for it. She's getting good position. She's so much more physical and just much more of a presence than she's ever been. And it's a great weapon for us to have, and we feel like we got a lot of people around her that will. You're going to have to pick your poison. That we have multiple weapons to not really key on her so much, and but I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her growth. From coming in from a freshman in a small town, eyes wide. As a young player to really focused up right now and a leader on our team and really a go-to player.
We're seeing video of Jossie Schiller as well, which for local fans, Jory, they're going to draw obviously to her and what she did last year at UND. What is her role envisioning, at least before the season gets going on this year's team?
Well, she's going to have a big role, Dom. She's going to help us win a lot of games. She's going to play on the ball, off the ball. We really kind of have a three-headed monster at the point guard, if you wanted it to be, with Molly, Jossie, and Marissa Frost.
Yeah. How do you do that, by the way? I'm not a great basketball mind.
Well,
how do you play all three?
We will. They're all going to play together because they play well together. We're pretty fast.
Yep.
We're able to pressure the ball pretty good when those three are out there. They let us do a lot of things, with their quickness and speed. The thing I'd say about Jocelyn that's been so impressive is she's just a winner. She's just a playmaker, whether it's for herself or for a teammate. Just action happens, when she's in the game, and more often than not, it's the really right play, the right decision, the right pass, the right shot. And so, just adding somebody that you describe probably just as a winner, that never hurts.
You've been trying to get fast for, I think, your entire time you've been head coach at NDSU. You feel like you're there where you want to be?
I do. The sweet we need length, and you need, if you can be big, long, and fast. I mean, that's how you want to build a basketball team. you don't get to pick them like that, just, off of a tree like you wish you could.
Yep.
We're definitely a faster team than we've ever been, as far as just people that can change into the floor and get up and down, and that's with and without the ball. I think, freshman Carrington Asp at 6'2", she's might be our fastest player on the team.
Wow.
Avery's right there. And Jossie, Riz, and Molly are 15, 20-yard sprint kids, and our workouts are ahead of everybody. And so that just gives you an opportunity. We want to play fast, but, we need our defense to match up to that too. And now, with those guys, we're able to pressure a little bit more, and I hope maybe force some tempo a little bit with defensively that we haven't been able to do either.
We had Carrington on the show last year when she was getting ready to come to Fargo, and we did the story on her on the news about her coming in. How much does she feel like a freshman still after being with the team for 6 months?
In some days, some days, you watch her play and you're like, holy cow, that's unbelievable play.
Yep.
And she can score it at a high level right now. Now, some days she can't guard this camera stand right here. And that's where she's got to get better. And she knows that.
Yep.
But that's even, from the start of this year till, because last year she was on scout team. We didn't ask. I didn't care what she was doing defensively.
But you were telling me as well she was killing you on scout team.
It was hard to guard her. She was hard to guard, no question, and then she was easy to score on. So we felt good about what we were doing. And now she's getting there.
Okay.
So she'll have an impact too. She'll have a chance to come in and just be another big body that can play inside and out. She's a very skilled player, but she's going to bring something different to the table also that fits in nicely.
Tell me about scheduling-wise. I always bug you about this, but getting Gonzaga and Tulane in the non-conference on Friday nights at the Shack can capture that momentum we were talking about what happened last March.
Yeah, I hope so. Those are two good games for obviously Tulane. We started last year, got a home-and-home with them and played at their place, and then they're coming back. And then this is the start of a home-and-home with Gonzaga, so we'll go out there, hopefully pick up another game close by when we make that trip to Washington. But two really good mid-major programs, and I don't even know if you count Gonzaga as mid-major.
I don't.
I don't either. They're just well-coached teams, and both two different styles that we'll have to play against. But getting them to come on Friday nights before high school basketball starts, I think those could be a couple really good nights in the Shack and a lot of fun.
Last thing before I let you go, and I appreciate the time. I know you don't give a whole lot of attention to preseason poll, but there are people who believe you're going to be good this season. How do you handle that with expectation-wise with this team to say, okay, it's out there. We have a blueprint. How do we handle that going into the season?
Yeah, I think the polls are the polls, Dom. I always tell you that. I think our players have high expectations. That's what I care about. I have high expectations for our team, and our players have high expectations for our team. And if we measure up to what we think we should be ourselves, then we're going to have a really good year, because I think the kids in our locker room and practice believe that we're good and that we should go out and win a whole bunch of games this year and be in contention. And I think that's what we're going to do.
It's great to see you, man. Thanks so much for the time. All right, good luck this season. We'll see you soon, all right?
Yep, sounds good. Thank
Jory
you.
Collins joining us, NDSU women's basketball head coach here on Hot Mic. We come back. Avery Coonan, Abby Kraswinski will join us on the Bison women's basketball team. Back on Hot Mic to wrap up Hour 1 right after this.
WDAY Plus brings you local high school sports on WDAY Extra and Inforum.com. Nodec Insurance presents Area Boys Football. The Red River Rough Riders face the Central Cass Squirrels on WDAY Extra. And the Davies Eagles face the Shanley Deacons on WDAY 2. Both games Friday at 7 p.m. WDAY Plus, high school sports. Brought to you by Nodec Insurance.
Halloween is here, and Menards has everything you need to dress your home for the season. From the smallest spooks to biggest fears. Make your home the talk of the town with tricks and treats for the whole family. Get everything you need with scary good savings this Halloween at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hearing Health Foundation wants you to protect your ears that keep listening. So let's go. What is a sound that if you couldn't hear it anymore because of hearing loss, you would miss it?
It would have to be the voices of my friends and family.
Easy, laughter.
Yeah.
Maybe my dog? I think of my dog.
When's the last time that you had a hearing exam?
Honestly,
can't remember.
Now, if you work in a job where there's a lot of loud noise, it's good to get your ears checked at least once a year. Hearing Health Foundation has some questions for you.
Sure.
You go through such lengths to protect the hearing of your children. Why don't you do that for yourself?
Ooh, that's a good one.
These are the 3 Ds of hearing health. Number 1 is decibel. That's all about the volume. You gotta turn that volume down. Duration. How long are you listening? And then distance. Because when you got on earphones, the distance is what?
0.
0.
Wow.
To keep listening, visit hhf.org.
When I grow up, I want to be a director because they get to talk to everybody about everything. Action! When I grow up, I want to be a ballerina.
Because dancing makes me happy. I get to entertain people, and nothing makes me feel more like me.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher.
Because when I'm a teacher, I can help kids to learn and chase their dreams.
If your child is sick over and over again, it could be PI, a defect of the immune system that affects millions. Early testing can give children a chance to dream.
It takes a lot of caring teachers to make school fun. It takes a great team to put on a show. It took a lot of caring people to keep my dream alive. And now my dreams are coming true. Because of them, I can be head of the class.
And when I'm a director, I get to say, lights, camera, action.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
That's a wrap.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. It was time for me to change my life and the lives of my family, so I went back and I got my high school diploma. That was the catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher.
Mom, this is your very first yearbook.
Your commitment to education motivates me, your coworkers, and your students.
You showed me that if you come from nothing, you can still be anything. You told me I deserve to succeed. It's been 15 years, and I still live by that.
You're the model for success for your kids, grandkids, and your students.
When I look at all these success stories, I cannot help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near.
Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic live on location here in Sioux Falls on Summit League Basketball Media Day. Big second hour coming. Commissioner Josh Fenton in about 15 minutes. We are pleased to be joined, though, by 2 of the stars of the Bison women's basketball team. Abby Kraswinski and Avery Coonan join us here this morning. It's great to see you ladies both. I know being back here on this floor, we were visiting off air about a half hour ago. Do you immediately get mad about the Kansas City game from last year?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously want to show up this year and kind of have a better run in this tournament than we did, but we're definitely not so mad, but more so excited for what we can do.
I know how emotional you were after the game, but then to have the WNIT run, how do you balance that? That wasn't great here, but it ended on a good note.
Right, yeah, I think you just have to be grateful for how it ended. I thought we did a good job kind of moving on from that. You know, you got to learn from it, but you also got to be able to put it in the past and move on. And I thought we did that, and we did make the most out of our postseason, and it's going to help us a lot this year.
I want to go back to the locker room there because Jory was just telling me I wasn't sure if any of our players wanted to play after the Kansas City game. How did you feel to say, you know what, maybe we should be done? Can you take me back to that?
Yeah, I think it was definitely tough just coming off of just a hard game. Like, we didn't really think we played our best, but we obviously gave it our all. But just kind of that roller coaster of emotions. But at the end of the day, we all wanted to play another game together, just kind of have one more shot at doing what we know we're capable of.
And we've talked, I know, in the offseason, the atmosphere inside the Shack, it just got better and better. From New Mexico State, Washington State, I had people coming to me saying, I haven't been to a Bison women's game in a decade. I'm going tonight. Did you guys feel that as the tournament went along?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it was kind of obvious, like, the fans just kept coming.
Yeah.
And it kept growing each game, and we were super grateful for that. And just to see the amount of community support, hopefully that kind of carries on to this year. I think it's going to be huge.
Well, with Tulane and Gonzaga up for non-conference to start, you guys got to be just jazzed. Like, okay, we're getting these teams, but they're coming to our place.
Yeah, I think we're super excited for that, to get some big teams. And like I said, like Tulane, they didn't get our best.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, that's going to be just a great environment to play in, great team to play against, so it'll be fun.
All right, expectations are what they are, but you guys are picked second in the preseason poll. You got a couple first-place votes. You're both back for your third year. How do you handle that, saying on the outside, people think we're going to be pretty good this year?
Yeah, I think we focus a lot just on the inside. Like, we know what we're capable of. We see ourselves every day in practice. We go through it all. And I think, obviously, outside expectations, they get put on us. But I think just us as a team, we've done a good job just collectively coming together and be like, we know what we can do, and let's go execute.
For you as a three-point shooter, and I've talked to you about this, tell me about developing that. Was that something in high school that was there, or that's really blossomed when you got to college?
I think in high school it was there a little bit, not like so much just because we had other smaller people on our team, but I think just in college, like just Jory giving me the opportunity to shoot those, I think it's really just blossomed.
When she's open, is it like I'm running back the other way because I know it's going in?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, AK's a great shooter, and she really kind of proved that, especially last year, I thought. And just having someone out there that can shoot from the perimeter is huge for our team.
I know I talked to her after she made a couple threes in the WNIT. What was that experience like of watching Avery go back out and step back beyond the arc?
I love it. I mean, every time she lets it fly, I'm like, you know what? I love it. Like, just it gets the crowd hype. Like, everyone just loves it. I mean, you don't often see, not a big man, but just kind of letting it fly all the time, so why not?
When you have, we were talking with Jory about this, Carrington's a player that I remember visiting with you guys about, like, okay, she's practicing and how much of an advantage that is. You both played as freshmen, but she got a 6-month head start. How big a deal is that now for her to get on the court with you guys in a couple weeks when you play games?
Yeah, I think it's huge. It's a big confidence builder, and just, coming in, being able to learn our terminology, learning kind of how, our coaches are, just getting to build those relationships with your teammates also is huge. And it's kind of hard coming in as a freshman just to get used to everything. So I think that'll definitely kind of be a good stepping stone for her coming into this year.
You're not sneaking up on anybody this year. We talked about this when I was at practice a couple weeks ago. How do you handle that expectation-wise, knowing, all right, we know 22 is really good, and we got to find a way to stop her?
Yeah, I think just obviously it gives you confidence, but also just knowing, especially this year, my teams, we're great, and we have a lot of potential. We have, Jory was just saying, everyone could be a leading scorer any night, and to know that you have that kind of a support system and teammates that you can lean on, it takes a lot of the pressure off, and just taking it day by day, just being myself, obviously, and just being the best I can be.
How much for you, knowing there are going to be teams that maybe are going to double team her, that I got to be open and make a shot, or Marissa's got to make a shot, something like that?
Yeah, I think it's important that we just support each other on the court, because obviously if someone's getting taken away, like, there needs to be so many other options to happen. And so I think we have a lot of those good options that are available on the court right now, and it'll be exciting just to see who shines and what shines at each moment.
I got to ask how unique it is to you guys. Watched Jossie Schiller play for a couple years. Now she's on your team. Describe that of like, boy, she was a really good player. Now she plays for us.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, we never thought that it was going to be an option, but obviously her coming to our team, it was quite surprising and exciting. Like, we just loved getting to see her get to know us, get to know the coaches, get to know our system, and she's been a great fit so far. And just seeing, she's super fast, super just quick, and we've just loved seeing her blossom.
How does she change your team? Because on the outside, I'm not a great basketball mind, but Molly and Marissa both are point guards. So is she. So can you play all three at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, we've played all three of them at the same time in practice, and they're all capable of kind of knowing different spots too. But just it adds depth for our team. You have Marissa that can go up and guard the ball and stuff, but so can Jossie. She's super fast. Adds a lot to our team for sure.
So are we in the grind now of practice? Like, okay, it's time, we got to play a game, because you guys have an exhibition coming up back here in Sioux Falls at the end of the month. It's like, all right, can we be done, or are you enjoying this part right now?
Yeah, I mean, it does get to be kind of a grind at this time of year. Just you're getting back into things, you're learning a bunch, you're putting on a lot of plays and conditioning, obviously, but just kind of trying to focus on the positives and not taking anything for granted, and showing up every single day and growing. And it has been a lot of fun at practice with our team. Like, I'm having fun, and we obviously are excited for games, but just taking it day by day.
A couple minutes left here with AK and AK. You haven't had an exhibition before. Describe that. Like the first couple games, it's been games.
Yeah.
You don't have that this time with Creighton, that you actually have a chance to play a good team, but it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'll be nice, especially, I mean, we've never played an exhibition, but also for the younger kids, just kind of getting that game feel, all the routines, everything just down on game day. I think it'll be very beneficial just moving forward, just to kind of throw you in and kind of figure it out.
Yeah, because I remember that was your both first game was against Creighton, right? A couple years ago down here. I mean, that's welcome to the deep end, right?
Yeah.
From what you remember?
Yeah, kind of thrown right into it. And big learning experience.
All right, I got to ask, because it's WNBA finals are going on right now. I love watching Asia Wilson play. Is there a player you guys love to watch outside of Caitlin Clark? Is there one that, hey, I stop and I got to watch her play?
Yeah, I think Nafisa.
Yep.
Yeah, she's pretty fun to watch for sure.
It was a foul, right? Were we all on board with that? That was a foul that happened there a couple weeks ago?
I don't know. No comment.
That's politically correct there. Tell me what we don't know about this basketball team that when you guys get playing, we're going to find out about in a couple words.
I think we're going to find out that everyone's versatile. I think we have a lot of different people that can play a lot of different spots and do a lot of different things for our team, and that's going to really benefit us.
Yeah, for sure. I just basically what she said. You know, we're gonna be a fun team to watch. We're gonna be able to play fast and quick, and we're gonna be sharp, know what we're doing, and I'm just excited to kind of show that to everyone else.
It's great to see you both. Thanks so much for doing this. Good luck. Can't wait to see you guys on the court. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Avery Kunin, Abby Kraswinski joining us from the Bison women's basketball team. Home opener coming up on November the 7th. When they take on Gonzaga. That'll be live on WDAY Extra. We'll break. We come back. Hour 2 coming. The boss, Josh Fenton, commissioner of the Summit League, right around the bend. Back live to Sioux Falls right after this.
Most people think child abuse is a bad parent problem.
Actually, the root causes may be different than you think.
Let us explain. Affordable housing for everyone.
That prevents child abuse. And access to health care in every community
prevents child abuse too. And high quality, affordable child care. School breakfast and lunch programs.
Paid family leave. All of this prevents child abuse.
It's all about keeping families out of crisis in the first place.
At least 1 in 7 children in the United States have experienced abuse or neglect in the past year. Prevent Child Abuse America promotes policies, programs, and resources informed by science that help communities, parents, and kids thrive.
Because when we keep families out of crisis,
we prevent child abuse
from ever happening.
Go to preventchildabuse.org to learn more and find a local chapter in your state.
That's preventchildabuse.org. Let's solve child abuse before it ever happens.
I'm a different kind of threat. I can't be scared away or negotiated with. You can't call the cops on me.
Do you still want to hang out after?
I don't want your money. Or your TV. I don't even have to break in. I'm invited.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Wounded Warrior Project empowers post-9/11 veterans and their families with life-changing programs and services.
They came to see me in the hospital, and they've been a constant in my life ever since.
We help warriors get the expert care to adjust back to civilian life.
I got the mental health support I needed to face my PTSD, and now I'm a much better husband and father because of it.
Together with a community of supporters, we make sure no warrior has to face their challenges alone.
I found adaptive sports and made connections. Now I know I can do anything I put my mind to.
Our hands-on programs, community support, and ongoing advocacy help veterans realize what's possible.
I realized it shows strength to ask for help.
I realized new therapies could work for me.
I realized a new purpose, helping other warriors.
And now I know anything is possible.
Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/together.
This is Hot Mike. Hot Mike. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 of Hot Mike on this Tuesday morning, live on location in Sioux Falls. Beautiful morning in Fargo, beautiful morning in Sioux Falls. We're talking hoops as we're back live here inside the Premier Center, and we've got the man of the hour, Summer League Commissioner Josh Fenton, doing this. We've done this bit now 3 years. I'm holding you to something. You got to break some news on the show today. That's the only way you're coming on the program today. So you got to give me something.
I don't know. I may underwhelm you a little bit here.
We got you for a little bit, so you think about it. It doesn't have to be big or small.
We may need to patch in your dad for some discussion to lighten this thing up a little bit.
All right. Well, let's talk with this, because 2 years ago we were down here, the debut of it. Has this gotten to the point where you wanted to be 3 years in on Media Day?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always small tweaks that we can do here or there, but, you know, support of people like you, the local media in Sioux Falls, kind of the surrounding areas, and then having a little bit more of the national feel with Field of 68 heard at. Yeah. Obviously, Midco does a lot. You know, it takes those entities to participate in an event like this to make an event feel and be as great as it is. And so we're appreciative of you and others for being here. But yeah, I mean, we want it to be a productive experience for coaches and student athletes, and we also want it to be a kind of a bright shining light into the start of the basketball season.
How much is this thing we want? Okay, this is our practice has been going for a couple of weeks, but this is the tip-off of basketball season here today.
Yeah, I mean, I think we get to this point, at least in our office, maybe at least in my mind, and we start to think a little bit more about the sport of basketball. Yeah. I mean, the reality is we're still a month away from playing real games, but it's exciting to get to this point, and you start to see other conferences have their Media Day events around this time, so it's exciting.
All right, I want to ask you, we're going to go off of basketball with your other role now with the Missouri Valley Football Conference. How has that blossomed from its inception a few months ago, and how has that gone so far in the few months?
Well, I think it's been great. I mean, others may think differently. You know, in my role as executive advisor, people like to ask me, what do you do? I said, well, I'm a helper. I'm a consultant. No, in all seriousness, you know, just working with Jeff Jackson out of the Valley, and we hired Kyle Grooms as the chief operating officer. He's really running the day-to-day, and he's doing a great job on top of everything. The content creation and distribution is coming out of our office, and so we have a person dedicated to MVFC.
Social media has been really good. I'll tell you that right now. We talked about that in July. It's been really good.
Yeah, so that's been intentional on our side with kind of direction from Kyle and Jeff. And so I think the relationship has been really good and collaborative.
When you look for this role going forward, is this almost organic, like we're kind of finding out for your specific role on a day-by-day of what it can be?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're learning this first year of how to work together, what's the best mode of operations. Like any organization, it's really important to communicate. We have a standing weekly meeting amongst Jeff and Kyle and other people that kind of work in their office and our office on MVFC stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, I think we'll figure it out as we go and probably make tweaks into the future.
All right, so since the last time you and I met, it seems like some realignment has come to a rest with Utah Tech deciding and Southern Utah to to the Big Sky next season. The UAC and has settled its a bit. Can you, I guess, as much as you can, how much was the Summit League involved in potentially adding any of those schools?
We were very active in and around discussions about potential future members. I'm not going to get into the who's and the specifics of it, but I think, as I've told you before, we've not shied away from how do we contribute added value to the league through expansion, and so very much involved in those discussions. And there has to be value adds for our side. There has to be obviously value adds on the other side, and at this point in time, we have 9 committed member institutions, but we're still being very aggressive behind the scenes with potential opportunities that could be out there. And so, I think the world of college athletics and conference alignments and realignments, I don't know that it ever totally sleeps. Commissioners actually would wish it would sleep.
Yeah, right, I bet.
But that's just not the world that we live in. And so, we're looking forward to how do we find ways to strengthen the Summit.
Are you allowed to get frustrated when you think something is going a certain way and then it curves? Like, hey, I think we're on the pathway to maybe adding, and then it goes in a different direction.
Allow? I guess I'm allowed. Is it a good use of energy?
Yeah, I guess maybe that's a better way to phrase it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Again, people are making decisions for what they feel is in the best interest of the institution, or the conference is making a decision for what's in the best interest of the conference. And so, I suppose it can be a little frustrating at times because you feel as though that you're on a path to something,
right,
and it doesn't materialize in that way. But again, we feel like we're in a really good spot. I invite you into our conference membership meetings with our presidents, and they would go around the room like they do every time and say, hey, we've got a great set of institutions that are committed. We align in a lot of unique ways, academically and athletically, and so we're in a great spot. And so we're looking for the opportunity or opportunities that can add value to what we think is a good committed 9 institutions.
Since the last time we talked as well, it was announced that the Summit League tournament is going to stay here in Sioux Falls at least through 2029. I know other cities were up. How far down the road did you get with potentially looking elsewhere for this basketball tournament?
We went through a bid process going back to, I guess, now the summer of 2024. We had a basketball kind of tournament committee that helped us look at this, plus other things related to the tournament. Back to when Western Illinois left the league, we had to adjust the format. We adjusted the day structure to start on Wednesday, finish on Sunday. All of that kind of went through the committee. And then the last thing the committee did was kind of help us usher through where we are, kind of at least into the short-term future with the tournament. And so the summer of 2024 was a bid process where we had engagement with a few different markets. And ultimately, Sioux Falls put forward the best bid in a kind of combined manner, and we believe that there's a lot of value here. Obviously, we built a great event here. The city has been very supportive of it. The Premier Center, the general community, it's been financially successful. We think it's one of the best, if not the best, mid-major conference basketball tournaments, especially in a combined sense with men's and women's.
And I think that's the tricky part I wanted to ask you about, of potentially moving it to a different location. You want to keep them together. How much is that a stumbling block, roadblock, and maybe going somewhere else?
Well, it's not a stumbling block, but it was kind of reinforced by the membership through the committee that this combined aspect of a tournament was something pretty special. Yeah. And I would never say never, Dom, in terms of splitting them, because I suppose if we got to a point where it was a good situation for one gender in one location and another in a different location, then we would look at it. But ultimately, we can replicate the experience for both genders in one location, and that's really important. And I think that's been a source of pride for this league for a long time, and it was a big, important factor in the decision.
You and I have talked, I think, for as long as you've been commissioner, about getting the tournament to off of Friday to Tuesday to finish on a weekend.
Right.
Going forward with keeping in Sioux Falls, was that part of the deal as well? Because I know television dictates that, like, hey, we still want to finish on a Sunday.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a part of it, but we had already made that decision. So as we were kind of going through the process of assessment of where we were going to be, the thought process is that we would be in kind of this new day structure. And so, we feel really good about the Wednesday to Sunday. You're right, television factors into it. We have the windows available for the championship games on Sunday, one set of semifinals on Saturday. Would love to eventually get both sets of semifinals on national television, CBS. But yeah, it was a factor, but we feel really good about the day structure.
So going forward, I guess, do you know yet your television schedule for this upcoming year, nationally wise? Have they told you that yet or not yet?
Not yet. Funny,
Okay.
I just got an email 20 minutes ago saying we're ready to go start picking games.
Oh.
So I think after.
Okay, so there's a little bit
Yeah,
of
a
news.
little bit of
We got
news
a
is
little
coming.
bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it's coming. So I guess on that part, are you still, there's a potential that maybe they could grab the semifinals for both set of semifinals for national TV?
The tournament structure we know what we'll be on, which is what we had this past year, which
Okay.
are the men's semifinals on Saturday night, women's champ, men's champ on Sunday
CBS.
afternoon and Sunday
Okay.
night. Yeah, CBS Sports Network. Yeah.
So let me jump off of that for your next television contract.
Yep.
Where are we at with that, and what other, are you still, I know you're talking with CBS, are you talking with anybody else right now?
So significant discussions around kind of what the next round of media rights agreements and relationships look like. The existing agreements with Midco Sports Plus on the digital side and CBS Sports Network on the national linear side expire
after this season,
June
right?
of 2026. So as we think of 2026-27 as a year and beyond, we are going to need to have refreshed or new agreements in place and what we're doing. And so we've been working through a different committee structure, frankly, for the past year to assess what the existing agreements look like. And it always starts with our existing partners and then obviously what potential other opportunities may be out there. And so we've been very happy with the existing relationships, especially the exposure that we're getting nationally on CBS Sports Network. I mean, we had 13 games last year and the year before.
Yeah.
Not many mid-major conferences can show that. We had over 1 million unique viewers over the course of those 13 games on CBS, and so we're actually getting closer to the end, Dom, on making a decision both on the linear and the digital
Okay.
side. I would say we probably have a couple-ish months left, but you know, we are getting closer, and that process has been pretty exhaustive.
I was going to say, how big a deal is that for you as commissioner? That's got to be a high priority for you.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people a lot. I've got kind of 4 things that consume my mind constantly: membership, the national environment. I've got a flight this afternoon to Washington, D.C. to talk to senators and lawmakers about what's going on.
SCORE Act, I'm
SCORE
assuming?
Act,
Yeah.
and just generally what's going on nationally in college athletics, media rights, and the sport of basketball. So, you know, that's a lot of what consumes my time. And so I mentioned media rights because it is pretty significant. And when you go through this process, I think for any commissioner, they would tell you that it is a pretty exhaustive process. You want to be thorough because there's a lot of constituencies to try to manage.
And I'm also, you see other mid-major deals like, okay, we want, if not that, we want more than that, correct?
Correct. And everybody's circumstances are unique. You know, you asked me about football and our role with football, but football is not part of our media rights agreement. The MVFC has their own, whereas another FCS conference may have football or would have football
Underneath
combined.
their umbrella,
underneath
right.
their umbrella. You know, the markets are different than other conferences around the country because their cities are different than our cities. And so there's just a different dynamic to it. I think we've proven with our viewership on the digital front and the viewership on the linear side that there's a lot of value around the Summit League, and I think we've been able to expand our brand because of the existing relationships, and that's only going to get better on this next go-around.
You got a couple more minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's take a break. We come back. Much more with Josh Fenton, Commissioner of the Summit League here, live in Sioux Falls. He's got a plane to catch. We're going to get him for a couple more minutes because I want to talk to you about that. That's coming up when Hot Mike returns right after this.
Please use our products in moderation.
Get inside the huddle. Watch the Bison Football Show with Coach Tim Polasek, presented by Gate City Bank for a better way of life. Player interviews, features, highlights, and more. The Bison Football Show with Coach Tim Polasek, Sunday nights at 10:35 on WDAY. Get ready for Bison Game Day. Join the Bison Game Day crew as they get you ready for kickoff. Saturdays at 10 a.m. Analysis, insight, and tailgating fun. Bison Game Day, presented by Farmers Union Insurance. 10 a.m. Saturdays on WDAY TV. Catch Bison Volleyball on WDAY Extra. Watch NDSU take on the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles Thursday at 7 p.m. Bison Volleyball on WDAY Extra.
It was a personal goal of mine to try and purchase a home before the age of 30, and I'm glad that I was able to do that. I do remember the first moment I walked into my home. I remember that real clearly, actually. I walked in, and I could hear my footsteps echo off the back wall right to me. And the first thing I thought in my head was, man, furniture is going to be real expensive. The VA not requiring any down payment prior to buying the home is actually really beneficial because it allowed me to take that money I had budgeted to go out and buy furniture, food, cleaning supplies, pretty much everything I needed. Using the loan itself wasn't too complicated. It's very user-friendly, I would say. And the VA was really helpful, showing me what I needed to do and how I would go about it. If I had to share anything with anybody, I would say that purchasing a home is scary. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that are new to you and that you won't understand, but ultimately it's not impossible, and they make it so that anybody can do it. Oh, I'm extremely glad I did it. It was one of the best things I could have done for myself, I think.
My name is Jacqueline White. I am Northern Arapaho. I was hired to build partnerships in the Wind River Reservation so that we can have food pantries here and work with the tribes. One of the elders told me, there is no higher honor for our people than to give one another food. I feel so blessed to be able to help people with food on this reservation.
1 dog, 1 cat, 3 bundles.
Food is sacred to our Arapaho people. We utilize that food in all of our ceremonies.
How many children? 9.
Where those that will partake it could nourish their heart, their mind, their body, their spirit. That nourishment that it has, that comes from Mother Earth. We have that respect and love for it.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/team up.
These the ones, right, Mama?
Yeah, groundling.
Sweet potatoes.
Daddy, it's salty.
Some things come with age.
And some don't. Early detection of Alzheimer's can lead to better care for your loved.
Back live here on Hot Mic on this Tuesday morning with the commish. Josh Fenton joining us for a few more minutes. We got UND basketball coming up here. All right, you got a few more minutes on the clock. We got a little bit of news out of you. We're going to try and get some more. You mentioned you're going to D.C. later today. There's so much swirling around college athletics right now. I don't even know where to start because I'm not sure how much fans are engaged in it. You know, the SAFE Act and the SCORE Act are two that, you know, I follow. I know what's going on. How much do you think the average fan would know how big a deal this is for some of
I mean, you know, if we had 50 more minutes, this is what we would talk about. But to try to keep it at a high level, I don't think the average fan is probably tracking on the details. But the impacts related to the future of college athletics, just given what we've lived through in the last few years through a litigious society with our industry, is significant. And so I would give you first off, there's 3 things within the SCORE Act, the 3 things that are really important to, I think, the healthy future in college athletics. 1, federal NIL legislation. We have a lot of state laws, patchwork of state laws all over the place that are kind of trying to one-up each other from a competitive standpoint. So that isn't good for the industry. So federal legislation, which isn't to say that we're trying to restrict student athletes' earning potential and power. It's just how do we try to create an even set of playing rules. 2, this codification that student athletes are students on a campus and not necessarily employees on a campus.
Yep.
And, this goes beyond just Division I, but this is college athletics in general. Division I, II, III, heck, maybe even down into NAIA or otherwise. And then 3, and we're living this right now, is our ability as an association to create rules and then enforce rules, in particular around eligibility and the academic career that a student has on a campus, and trying to tie eligibility to their time frame of as a student on a campus, not necessarily connected to economic opportunity. Because if there are going to be students on a campus and they need to make progress towards degree, that we think it's really important that the athletic eligibility be tied to them being a student on a campus.
Because it sounds
those
like
are the 3 main things.
It sounds like the 5 for 5 is going to happen, though, right? That you get, because now the clock thing is still hard to understand. You're just going to get blanket 5 years. It sounds like that's going to come sometime soon.
Maybe. And I will tell you that doesn't necessarily solve this eligibility issue.
Other issues, correct.
It may
alleviate a little bit, right?
Soften it a little bit, but it comes back to whether we as an industry want to decide on eligibility being connected to academics, which I think everybody else in the space would agree that should be a part of our rules, or should eligibility be tied to something else, economic opportunity? And that's where things get challenging.
All right, another challenging topic, because it sounds like this is going to happen sooner than later. A report last week out of Yahoo is that there seems to be consensus the NCAA tournament is going to go to 76 in 2027. You and I have talked about this, I think, the last couple of years about this topic. How does that suit the Summit League if expansion goes that way?
Well, first off, we're supportive of it. I think it's a great thing. I think we're in the business of experience and opportunity, so if we can expand opportunity for a few more teams, deserving teams to get in, why wouldn't we do that? When you look at 360-ish institutions that compete in men's and women's basketball at the Division I level, the actual percentage of teams that make the tournament is on the low side compared to other sports. And so, we have the ability to allow more opportunity and more experience. And, the NCAA through the broadcast partners are working through this right now, but so as long as the financial aspect can work out to where costs can be covered and unit values can be made whole, we're very supportive of it. We think it's a great thing.
All right, I got to add last thing before I go here. St. Thomas is picked on the men's side to win the conference tournament, or the regular season championship. They're opening their brand new building this year. I know their admission came prior to you being a commissioner of the league, but when we're going back to alignment and talking about teams coming in, expansion, when you see a member like that have the kind of success they've had in a short amount of time, is that enticing to get other schools like, hey, you can come in here, you can have success, or are they a red herring because of where they're located and what the kind of funds they have?
Well, first off, it's a credit to them and what they knew they were prior to making an announcement to transition to Division I, and then what they've continued to build. So President Rob Vischer, Athletic Director Phil Eston, obviously the basketball programs coaches, but all the other sport programs there. They've set themselves on a trajectory to be successful. They've been a great Summit League member, will continue to be a strong Summit League member in the future. And I do think, to your question, it gives an opportunity for others to look at the potential as a member of the Summit League if they want to contribute at levels, not necessarily has to be at the same level, but at levels to invest in Division I athletics that can help their overall institutional profile. And so I do think it's an opportunity in the future.
And just to be clear before I let you go, they're eligible now postseason.
They are
all
eligible,
sports, correct?
Eligible for NCAA qualification at large, automatic qualification if they were to win one of our team championships. So yes, that's an exciting thing.
And they can host conference tournaments as well going forward.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. And they're going to host baseball and softball.
Right. Good stuff. Great to see you, my man. Happy basketball season. Always great to see you.
Thanks
Josh
for being
Fenton
here.
joining us, Summit League Commissioner, here on this Tuesday morning. We come back, we'll visit with UND's basketball teams. Dennis Hunter coming up, women's basketball head coach, as we roll on live from Sioux Falls right after this.
We're celebrating 86 years at the Amish Gallery. Save 25% store-wide on bedrooms, living rooms, dining, and more. Even special orders are on sale for a limited time only in the Amish Gallery, Grand Forks.
Stay prepared for the days and nights ahead with the best weather team. Download the Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Get alerts and updates straight from the WDAY Storm Tracker team with accurate weather reports specific to your area. Just search WDAY in the Apple or Google Play Store. Download the Storm Tracker app and be ready to plan your day. The Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Download it today. WDAY Plus brings you local high school sports on WDAY Extra and Inforum.com. Nodeck Insurance presents Area Boys Football. The Red River Rough Riders face the Central Cass Squirrels on WDAY Extra. And the Davies Eagles face the Shanley Deacons on WDAY 2. Both games Friday at 7 p.m. WDAY Plus, high school sports. Brought to you by Nodeck Insurance.
Dear Coach. Dear Coach.
Dear Coach, they don't teach you that inner strength is the most important kind of strong. But you taught me that.
They don't teach you how to build confidence in yourself or how to deal with all the pressures all at once. But you taught me that.
First tee was more than golf. It's where I discovered what I'm capable of.
You didn't just prepare me for 18 holes. You were preparing me for every day of my life. Learn more at firsttee.org.
We said we'd never break the 3-second rule. We'd never make a separate dinner. And never do that. We'd never let them sleep in our room. And never become a minivan mom.
Hey, Chris. Okay, well, I'm not at my desk right now.
As parents, we say never a lot, but never happens. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
Did you know we waste as much as 40% of all the food we produce globally? You might be thinking, hey, I don't waste food, I eat my leftovers. But did you know you might be part of the 75% of Americans who think they waste less than they actually do? Americans toss out more than $382 billion worth of food annually, costing an average family of 4 at least $1,500 each year. And your bank account isn't the only thing that's taking a hit. Did you know some of the biggest impacts of food waste occur before the food even hits your plate? Each year, millions of acres of wildlife habitat are plowed over, and billions of gallons of water are guzzled up to meet production demands for food that never gets eaten. But did you know there are simple things you can do to reduce all this waste? Eating leftovers is great, but things like donating surplus food within your community and better understanding food date labels can have an even bigger impact. And spread the word that food should never be trash. Visit us at wwf.earth/foodwaste.
When you want authentic handmade furniture, look no further than the Amish Gallery. Solid wood construction, superb craftsmanship, and some of the most inspiring designs you'll ever find. Save 25% store-wide in the Amish Gallery.
Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mike live on location here on Summit League Basketball Media Day. Final half hour of our show, at least here on Extra. We'll be live for another hour on WDAY Plus from 11 to noon today. It's our pleasure to be joined by UND women's basketball head coach Dennis Hutter joining us. Guy who took the job in April. Does it feel like now officially as head coach?
Yes.
Yeah,
we're officially into practice, so yes, we are officially settled in, and it feels like I'm coaching a basketball team again. And while it's fun to put a team together and structure a team together and construct a roster, it's much more enjoyable to coach that roster.
So we had John in April when I know your head is spinning because you're trying to figure out who's back and how to get a team together. Describe that process of what that 6 weeks was like to basically cobble a roster together.
Yeah, first thing I was told, if there was a month of April, I didn't see it. I mean, so my son's got baseball games. There was a lot of things he had to miss, but, you're trying to put things together and you're trying to construct a roster. You're making phone calls. You're watching film, but you're also got the 7 players that stayed.
Right.
And you want to make sure that their experience is still going well. So it isn't just the roster spots that most people think about, which is fair. You also got the 7 that wanted to stay and making sure their experience and we can start heading it in the right direction. So it was a whirlwind a little bit, but luckily, I've learned over the years, if you surround yourself with really good people, that understand what you want to do, and I'm surrounded with a staff that's phenomenal in regards to understanding what we want to do and what we want to try to accomplish. It makes it a little bit easier, and then it just started to come one after another, and luckily we were able to find 9 kids that found it attractive.
I got to ask for you, and I know you don't want to talk about yourself, but you had been in Mayville for so long. Had Division I, had you let that dream go? Say, I don't know if that's ever going to, I'm enjoying where I'm at, we're winning, that I don't know if the Division I thing is going to happen.
It's never been a level thing for me. I'm not going to lie to you. There's been other opportunities at different levels that I turned down when I was at Mayville. For me, it's always just, can I be at a place where I can run the program where I feel like it's best fit for me? Is there a chance to be successful? Can you bring in players that understand what you're trying to do and do it at that level? It's never been about the level. Obviously, D1 is something everybody kind of looks at. And I get this question a lot, Dom. I get, can you do it at UND the way you did it at Mayville?
Right.
And I said, well, we'll find out, because I don't know any other way. It's been 19 years of this way. So it's never been a dream of mine, but obviously it was an opportunity. And I just felt like the timing was just right in all aspects, from a personal family situation to a professional situation, to make the move.
We're going to talk to 2 of your returners coming back. How key was Michaela and Walker of building blocks of keeping the team together?
Oh, huge. I mean, just in the fact that, like, when you're talking to recruits, you've got 2 mainstays that decided to stay for whatever reason they stayed. And so they're both unbelievable leaders. They work extremely hard. They're just high integrity, high character, high effort, high output players that you're looking for, that just make our locker room better.
Yeah.
They get us on the floor. They make us better. And so it was important that they be kind of the rocks we build this thing around. When we started to bring other players in to see, hey, this is who you could play with. These 2 have been phenomenal in their leadership ability from June all the way up till now. And, you know, every day you just see different sides of them that come out even more in regards to the leadership that they can bring and supply, that I think is going to be very huge for us as we go through this journey.
So how much were they not necessarily selling the program when you were bringing transfers in to say this is a spot to be in? Were you bringing them into the transfer visits where you're having in April and May?
Our returning players,
yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them were heavily involved in, you know, the family we wanted to build, because they were the 7, and now we wanted to build a family around those 7. They were all heavily involved in the process in regards to interacting with recruits, parents, explaining kind of what we were trying to build at UND, the type of players we were looking for on the floor, off the floor, in the locker room. And so Michaela and Walker were definitely heavily involved, along with the other 5, in regards to bringing in the 9 new kids that we're lucky enough to bring in.
So for the players they brought in, it's a mix, but a lot of them have upper Midwest ties. How important was that for you?
Very, very. I mean, if you see our Mayville teams, you'll see it was all North Dakota, Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's very important to me. I feel like there's a connection when you recruit locally, and locally here maybe more regionally.
Yes.
But there's a connection. I do think that kids have a tendency to maybe not transfer as much when they're maybe a little bit more closer to home. There's a little bit greater buy-in, and the culture. The culture is just the culture they've grown up in. I mean, you know, Michaela and Walker are prime examples. Blue-collar, hard-working families, blue-collar, hard-working players in the classroom as well as on the floor. That was extremely important to me. You've seen me coach. You kind of understand how I am. And so those players are huge in the intensity that we bring, along with that effort and attitude we ask every single day.
So I've had a chance to cover Mackenzie Hughes since she was like a freshman at Thompson High School. You obviously coached her as well at Mayville. When the opportunity arose there, was that a no-brainer for you to say, hey, we'd love to have you come play your last year with us?
I was ready to pack her suitcase today. I heard about it. I said, let's go. You know, I mean, obviously I've known Mackenzie a long time, and her mom, Beth, and her dad, Jeremy.
Who never missed a game, by the way, ever.
They're everywhere.
Yes.
And they were phenomenal supporters of our program at Mayville, and they'll be some great supporters of our program at UND. No, it was a no-brainer. I mean, obviously Kenzie knows me so well. So the thing that Kenzie obviously has been phenomenal at is she is the one player in the locker room that can say, I've played for Coach Hutter, so this is what we're looking for. When he says this is what he's talking about. When he wants this is what he wants. And she has been phenomenal in that regard. And she's a relentless competitor. She's tough as nails. Her and I have a great relationship. And it was just when that opportunity presents itself, I'm like, what do we have to do to get this done? She came up for one visit and said, where do I sign? And I am very grateful. And like I told her before we started, I am so grateful and fortunate to get one more journey with this kid because she's just a special kid.
After being an assistant last year, and I think you already had a good idea of what the Summit League was, what is it going to take for UND to be in the conversation with South Dakota State, with North Dakota State, with Oral Roberts, that we want to be up at the top of the league and be mentioned with those 3 teams?
Well, I think number one, you got to be more consistent. You know, we just have to be a lot more consistent. We got to be consistent with our effort, you know, consistent with our smaller details, maybe taking care of the ball and making shots we're supposed to make, playing hard on a daily basis, our attitude. I just think there needs to be a level of what we just call a championship mentality, just a consistent championship mentality, day in, day out, playing hard, competing, and kind of letting everything else just kind of take care of itself. You know, if you start measuring yourself, I don't know if that's a really good thing for us. So what we talk about is just win the day. What do we have to do to win today? If we do, then let's win tomorrow. And that's really what we're honed in on. I think if you win enough days, you'll find that you're probably competing with the higher level teams in the league, like you mentioned.
This might be a silly question, but last year on this floor, you guys won a game in the tournament. I know it was a different team. Can you build off of that with the players that are back to say, we've had success down here?
Yeah, I believe you can. I do. I believe that you can rely on that a little bit. You got, again, 7 kids that were a part of that. But I believe you can build off of that. I believe you can talk about, you know, different situations, larger crowds, different arena, greater people watching as far as just the fact that the tournament's happening. And you can definitely use that to build in regards to letting players know that, hey, you can accomplish more than you think you can accomplish. You're tougher than you think you are. You're more resilient than you think you are. And that's a great game that we could turn to show them that when you do that, you can accomplish some good stuff.
Tell us about the build of the non-conference schedule, because you're not shying away here of who you got going, and you're going to be traveling as life is as a mid-major basketball team.
Yeah, I found that out real fast. That scheduling's a little more difficult than I thought. You know, maybe it's just you continually play the same teams. You do, and you stay locally. I mean, obviously, budget's a factor, but yeah, I mean, we're going to play the Gophers right off the bat.
Yeah.
And, so
how exciting is that?
It's awesome. I mean, being a Twin Cities guy myself, I'm going to be like a kid in a candy shop going back to the barn. I've never been in there to coach a game, so I'm excited about that. But but what an opportunity for us to just kind of measure. Just let's see where we are. All right, you know, let's not make things bigger than they need to be. It's the first game of the year. It really is. And so obviously everybody's still growing right now, but what an opportunity to kind of measure yourself up against a team that should be stronger, faster, bigger than you, and just see where we're at as far as our effort goes and what we're trying to do. And I feel like if we play hard, we'll keep taking steps in the right direction. But yeah, I mean, the non-conference schedule was, we wanted to test it, but we also wanted to find opportunities where we could see some opportunities to like really compete and grow a little bit. And we traveled a lot last year, so we were trying hard, really hard to not travel as much this year, which the month of December we're only traveling one time. So we're very fortunate in that regard. But yeah, I've learned that scheduling mid-major D1 is a little bit more difficult than even at Mayville.
You know, seeing it as a coach at Mayville, and obviously your 1 year at UND, the Betty can be a really, really nice home court advantage. How do you tap into that to get people to say, I know it's a different team, but to come out and watch us this year?
Number one, I think the product. I mean, I just think the product in regards to, I believe people will come out and support a product they respect. Yeah. Playing hard, competing together, being a team, having a great bench, having energy, a genuine excitement for one another on and off the floor, I think is something that resonates with fans of all fan bases, I believe, not just ours. And I think that's something that makes people leave the gym that night and go, I want to come back. Yeah. I want to watch them play again. Certainly having success goes a long way with that as well. I learned that at Mayville when we started to get things rolling. I mean, we had a lot of people come watch us play, and success does add to that, but that will come. I really believe that, but I do believe people will show up to a product they respect, and we every day we talk about effort, attitude, togetherness, and toughness. It's the 4 things we talk about.
Off of that, I know you're only 2 weeks into practice before I let you go. What do you see as defining traits of this team that can be when you hit the floor in a few weeks?
I'll be honest with you, Dom, we got a great group. I love this group. I mean, I love this team. We have great kids. They compete. They absolutely compete. And they understand how I am. I expect that out of them. And I can coach them hard, and they respond, which I love. And they play together. That's one of the things that was very important to us. So right now when I watch it, I'm like, I think we compete at a high level. I think we're learning really fast how to play together. Okay, and then just understanding what it means to be a part of something bigger than you, which is the team. All that's kind of coming together right now through the summer and into the fall, and that's why I love this group so much.
It's great to see you, man.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for the time. Good luck this year, all right?
Thank you very
Dennis Hutter joining us, UND women's basketball head coach. We'll come back. We'll take our final break. We've got 2 UND basketball players coming up. Michaela Almer and Walker Demers will join us to wrap up Hot Mic live on location here in Sioux Falls. We're back right after this.
If you can't work because of your health, what you're going through is hard. Paying bills, seeing your doctor, and fighting a denial of Social Security disability benefits is even harder. But calling us is easy.
At the Schneider Law Firm, our job is to help you get the disability insurance benefits you've paid for. From disability to workers' comp and personal injury, for us, it's about results for you.
Call 877-740-2525. The Schneider Law Firm.
The Book of Mormon is the best musical of this century. The 9-time Tony Award winner is genius, brilliant, phenomenal. The Book of Mormon is the funniest musical of all time. It's the gold standard for comedy that goes further than any other comedy in history. You won't believe how funny it is. You won't believe how much heart it has. And when it's over, you won't believe how much you'll want to see it again. The Book of Mormon, October 22nd, Chester Fritz Performing Arts Center. Tickets at und.edu/CFPAC.
Don't you hate that dirty old hose? It kinks, splits, and it always leaks. And it's way too heavy to carry around. It's time to get the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead. Just turn on the water and watch it grow to a full-size hose. It stretches and expands like a rubber band. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the new Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees. Just connect to the spigot and watch it pivot. And when you turn off the water, away it goes, shrinking back to a pocket-size hose. And it makes it easy to carry and put away. Copperhead. It's the hose that grows and pivots, flexes, and sprays. It puts itself away for another day. The Pocket Hose is so unique and so innovative, it was awarded over 100 patents. Call or go online now to get the Superlight 25-foot Pocket Hose Copperhead today for only $39.99. But wait, order right now and you'll receive an instant $10 discount. So it's only $29.99. And it gets better. Order right now and get our copper spray nozzle with our exclusive thumb drive free. Simply use your thumb to turn it on or off. And with 10 unique patterns, you'll have a setting for every job. A $30 value. Yours free with every 50-foot Copperhead. Plus, Copperhead comes with a full 10-year warranty. It's that durable. That means you can order right now with total confidence. But this special offer is not available in stores or on Amazon. So order right here, right now. And with rising costs, this may be your last chance at this low price. There is a strict limit of 3 per order. So don't wait. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-957-3967 or visit getcopperhead.com. So call 1-800-957-3967 or visit getcopperhead.com. Order now.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back, everybody. Live on location as we wrap up Hot Mic, at least, for Summit League Media Day. We got another hour coming on WDAY Plus from 11 to noon. We'll visit with UND men, the Denver program, the South Dakota State teams coming up in our next hour as well. We are joined now by a couple of UND women's basketball players, Walker Demers and Michaela Almer. Join me. Michaela, I apologize. I've talked to Walker since you're like a freshman in high school, so you'll have to excuse us for that. But thanks for doing this. I got to start first. We were talking with Coach Hutter. So you being a Minnesota native, of playing the Gophers to start the season. Tell me about the excitement about that.
Honestly, I'm extremely excited. Obviously, playing in front of a home crowd.
Yeah.
That's not a home crowd at UND, obviously, but going back home, I haven't played at the Barn since I think it was my sophomore year of high school. So it's really exciting to be able to go back there and just reminisce a little bit.
For the Mora Mustangs way back when on that. All right, tell me about this coming back. We were here last year. How would you describe last year for you personally, how it went?
I think last year was definitely a learning experience, but something that I'll cherish forever, and obviously I learned a lot through it, and the stuff that I learned I can take to this year. So
you dealt with injury last year. Describe that. I know how much you love to play, of having to sit. How difficult was that?
Yeah, it was definitely hard, but I think it was just a realization that, it slowed my life down a little bit and made me open my eyes and saw basketball from a different perspective. And that's something that you don't learn unless you go through it. So,
Michaela, I want to take this floor last year. I know it's a different team. You guys get that win over St. Thomas. You advance the semis. You play the Jackrabbits. I know it's a different team, but can you take that experience of what you did here last year to this season?
Honestly, yeah. So, obviously in previous years, it's hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is to actually win a game in postseason and, at the Summit League tournament. So being able to do that, I think having that little bit of experience can help us moving forward.
What was that like to have that experience and walk off the court a win like you did last year against St. Thomas?
Very fulfilling, brought a lot of gratitude. I had a lot of gratitude for that. It's hard to do, so just being able to do something like that is special.
All right, so the transition happens after the season. When do you guys find out? Did Mal come and talk to you guys? Did you find out like the rest of us did? Take us through how the offseason went in terms of the coaching transition.
We found out a little bit earlier. Obviously, she told us before it was released, and obviously we knew Coach Hutter. We had been under him for a whole year, and the transition was pretty smooth, and we love him and wouldn't have it any other way.
Is that necessarily you get recruited by one coach, but in the era where everyone's moving around, how different was that to deal with? Okay, we're going to have a different coach now for your senior year.
I think it was pretty nice. Obviously, already having built a relationship with Coach Hutter and already knowing him, I think that made the transition a lot smoother and easier, especially for the returning players that were already there. And he's big on family, so that helps a lot too.
Knowing though the portal is open, new coach, there's going to be players moving. And I'll ask both of you. You already went through it once. Was you tempted to do it again? Like, all right, who's going to be back on this team? Take me through your thought process once the season ended and there's a coaching change.
Honestly, the biggest thing for me was obviously I'm going into my senior year. What's going to? There was a lot of unknown.
Right.
But the girls that were still there, it was one of those things. I didn't want to leave those girls behind. You know what I'm saying? You
went through this already, so describe for the girls that decided to stay. How much do you tell them? Okay, this is what it's like. If you decide to go, this is what it's like.
Yeah, I think that was a huge conversation that I had with them, and being able to talk to them about that and share my personal experience was special because not everyone goes through it, and I wouldn't want that wished upon anyone else. So it was definitely an experience, but we all just stayed true to ourselves and just said this is where we want to be and this is home, and if anything, there's consistency amongst us, and that's all that matters.
So when the dust settles and it's the seven of you, it's okay, how much stronger was the bond? We're going for whoever comes in, we're together.
Honestly, that's how we've kind of set the foundation of what we want to be as a team and the family we want to have. You had a lot of girls that really just knew what we wanted, and we got to go from there.
Tell us about, because we were visiting off air, but you got to build the rest of a roster. How are you guys involved in that when Coach Hutter says, hey, I'm going to bring a potential player on campus? Are you scouting them out as well?
Oh, yeah, of course. We definitely talked to the coaches before that, and obviously we got to meet them, eat with them, and walk them around campus, and then we got to share our thoughts about them after. But, a lot of the girls that came and visited us were really cool, and the ones that we have now are really awesome too.
Michaela, a lot of them have ties to the upper Midwest. How important was that? They're from Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, or North Dakota. Was that a big deal at all to you guys, or no?
I don't think it really played a huge part into it. It's nice to see, obviously, kind of where I grew up, to see, Minnesota is a pretty big basketball state, and just like the Midwest, it's growing. So being able to represent those girls and having more girls come in is a big thing.
So for people who don't know, it's not like you just started practice on September, whatever, that was your first day. You go all summer. So how big a deal was that in terms of gelling with the 9 new players with the 7 returners?
Yeah, it was very important, and Coach Hutter definitely stressed competing and togetherness, and I think that we were really able to emphasize that as we started official practice.
When you go through this, knowing this is your last ride after how last year went, try not to put the weight of the world on your shoulders. Okay, I want to have a really good last senior season.
Yeah, I think it's super special to be able to spend my senior season at home and just in a place that I trust, with coaches I trust and teammates that I love. So I think even so far it's been a great experience, and I'm ready to end it well.
So when she came in last year, did you know how big of a deal she was in North Dakota?
I mean, I knew of her and like knew her through like,
obviously playing in South Dakota, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That she has her own fan section at the Betty for every game. Did you guys give her a hard time about that?
Not so much, but it was nice having her obviously come to UND. She's a huge part of this family, and it's nice to have her as a sister here too.
Did it plan out as well as you thought? Like being back home and having like when you and I talked here last year, was it even better than what you thought it could be?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And being close to home is something special that not a lot of people get to experience. And I'm lucky to be able to come back and still call it home, no matter where I'm at in my life.
All right, so we've seen Coach Hutter at Mayville State coach, and obviously coached against you when a couple years ago. Now that he brings on as an assistant, what was that transition like? And now he's a head coach for you.
Honestly, it was kind of nice to have him like as an assistant first. He'll talk about like not a lot of people get to see him in like that role and that side of him. So it was really interesting to like build that relationship with him first, and then obviously transitioning to a head coach now. Like I said before, it made things like a lot smoother, and you kind of know what he's looking for, and just like the competition, effort, attitude, togetherness, and toughness.
Walker, how different is he? Just X's and O's. What are we? Is UND women's basketball like starkly different from last year?
I would say that
outside of the players on the court, obviously.
Yeah, no, I would say that, UND is UND, and I think that we have always had this same mindset. And this year we're going to be together, and, we have a family bond that I think is special to this group. And I think Coach Hutter has instilled that in us, and will probably the rest of his time there.
I was asking Coach this. I'll ask you as well. How does UND get in the same breath with South Dakota State, with North Dakota State, with Oral Roberts saying we want to be in that conversation when we get to March?
I think it's not focusing on like the result and like necessarily where you will have the idea of where you want to be in your head, but it's where you are right now. Like being present and being where your feet are, trusting the process, and just focus on winning the day. Not like the next week, not our first game, but winning the day.
I'll ask you as well. This is your last go. How much are you not trying to put the weight of your world on your shoulders that every game I want to go out and have the best game I possibly can have, but just to go and enjoy it as well?
That's the biggest thing. I've had like a lot of discussions with Coach about this, just being where my feet are. I think I kind of get caught up in the fact of like looking to the future, like maybe it is going to go by fast. Yeah. But being where my feet are, I'm going to be able to enjoy that a lot more. Okay, favorite road place to play? Now you've been all over the league, so I feel I can ask you this. What's your favorite place on the road to play at?
My favorite place?
Because it's not UND anymore, because now you're playing there, because I know it was in the past.
Yeah, I would probably say NDSU just because of the rivalry. And we still have a good fan base because it's only an hour down south, so probably NDSU.
Is that the same for you? You got a different one?
100% NDSU. Just the environment, and to be able to compete in an atmosphere like that is phenomenal.
And both games were fantastic last year. The atmosphere in Fargo was electric, and certainly was at the Betty. How do you feed off of that? And for other games, say, hey, it doesn't just be the Bison game. Come out for the Jacks or Oral Roberts, and you guys can do that on a game-to-game basis. How do you do that for fans? How do you translate it over, I guess is what I'm asking.
I think knowing that every game is like another game. Like it doesn't change. Yes, there's a big rivalry there, but it's another game that you fortunately get to play.
All right, expectation-wise for this team, what do you see for this upcoming year?
I just really hope that we stay together and compete every single game. Our main goal each and every game is to compete to our highest ability, no matter who we're playing.
I got to ask, you had a game last year, I believe, that didn't even play because the lights went out. Is that the first time you ever had anything like that happen before?
Yeah, that was the first time for me. That was very
first and last, hopefully.
Yeah, right? Because you guys were doing warm-ups, right? Like the game's ready to go.
First game.
Yeah, first game of the season.
Lights went out. Describe now as you get ready for the upcoming year. Just, is it a slog now in practice, or is it like, okay, we still need to get going before we play our first game?
Oh, we're definitely still competing right now. I mean, it's easy to say that you can have a dip at this time of year because we're still a couple weeks away from our first game, and we've been practicing all summer. But I think this group is really special in the fact that we want to work for each other and compete for each other.
Michaela, last year you guys were crisscrossing the country. You're not doing that this year. Is that how much of an advantage is that travel isn't nearly as strenuous as it was last year?
I was going to say, that's going to be a lot nicer for us, and like just having discussions, how we're going to rest our bodies better and recover and things like that. I think things will go a lot smoother.
When you look back at it, is it hard to believe, like, okay, this is it? Like, you feel like just not that long ago you were a freshman and now this is the end of the road here?
It really does go by fast. It's crazy to think about, and I'm thinking, like, now what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do when I'm done, or what am I going to do when I'm done with college? But it's like, just be where your feet are. Just enjoy the moment.
How much are you doing that as well? Like, hey, this is the first practice I have. Like,
yeah.
Are you doing that, or you can't think that way?
Oh, yeah. I would say I'm definitely a nostalgic person. So I obviously think back to even high school and elementary when I started. But I think just being where your feet are and just knowing that each and every practice, like, these are the last of it. So why not give 100%? Why not? You know, so that's just our mindset going into it. And I think that Coach Hutter has really been there for us, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Ladies, this was great. It's great to see you. Good luck this year. Stay healthy, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. Walker Demers, Michaela Almer joining us here live on location. That's going to put a wrap on things for Hot Mike. We're not done, though. We got another hour coming up on our stream on WDAY+. The UND men are coming up right off the hop. We're excited about that. You're going to hear from Paul Sather, Eli King coming up as well. Denver men's basketball coach Tim Bergstrasser, Carson Johnson coming up, South Dakota State. Also coming up as well, we can already see they're grimacing about talking about the Jackrabbits, but we're going to do that coming up in our next hour as well. Been a great show here on location. We appreciate everybody helping us out back in Fargo for making the show take place here today. Thanks to all of our guests. If you missed anything, it will all podcast later today at Inforum.com and on WDAY+. You'll hear from Dave Richmond, Jory Collins, the Bison men, Bison women, Josh Fenton as well. All of that coming up later on today. All right, streaming show coming up in just a couple minutes. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're back in Fargo tomorrow. We'll see you then.
WDAY Plus brings you local high school sports on WDAY Extra and Inforum.com. No Deck Insurance presents Area Boys Football. The Red River Rough Riders face the Central Cass Squirrels on WDAY Extra. And the Davies Eagles face the Shanley Deacons on WDAY2. Both games Friday at 7 p.m. WDAY Plus, high school sports. Brought to you by No Deck Insurance.
In every worn machine lies a legacy of hard work. At Reddy, we honor that legacy by rebuilding your air seeder to surpass its former glory. With our innovative parts, we enhance efficiency and durability, ensuring your equipment is ready for any challenge. Invest in renewal, not replacement, and experience unparalleled performance. Reddy is with you for your most important pass of the year.
Listen up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong, so I won't sugarcoat it. I need each one of you on your A game. The good news is, Anthony, the human body we've been tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with brand new gear to defend against the flu. That's right. We've upgraded our game with this new equipment. They give you a little extra boost. So let's go fight for Anthony, for his mom, his co-workers, that nice lady Patricia that lives down the street with the cute dog. In the face of viral adversity, we make Anthony thrive so he can protect himself and the people he loves most. Are you with me? Yeah!
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. It's been a frosty fall start to the day around the region. We do have beautiful blue skies now, but those temperatures will cool to start off the day and they'll stay seasonable with highs only making up to the 50s for most this afternoon, but there is a warm up on the horizon. We have sunny skies right now, and that's going to be the case for most of the week. However, with those clear skies overnight, we also are keeping an eye on another chance for some frosty mornings around the region. I'll be timing out when those will look to come to an end, as we do have a warm up on the horizon, and also